Please edit that because all my fans.
Speaking to your mic. Speaking to your mic.
Oh my God.
I'm actually going to put that.
No,
Let me
don't do
start
that.
again. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? My name is Dami, Mr. D's, Papa Beer. Yeah, it's still me. These are my friends right here, and we just think it's quite important that we let this topic out. So this is quite controversial. Is it controversial? Controversial? Controversial?
Controversial.
Control what?
Controversial.
Yeah, man. You still always remember I've been bloody Yoruba, man. I still got my accent. Proud of it. Yeah, it's not that polarized, but they're a little bit polarized. We're all musicians. My name is Mr. D, and this is
Joe.
and
Michael.
Michael. I'm a guitar player and a mixing engineer, whatever that means in today's world. I think everyone's a mixing engineer these days. Yeah, I'm one of those people that mix from their basement or their bedroom or their father's room or somewhere. And I got Joe here.
Yeah, Joe, I play bass. I'm a producer. And yeah, music all day.
The best bass player you will ever have.
Big facts.
Right? Yeah. And we have
Michael. I am a producer, singer, songwriter, and yeah,
Superstar.
musician as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a superstar.
Superstar Grammy Award.
And man, I
Vi-
received
viral.
Shamanya winning the Grammy, don't forget us.
Rebo bullshit. Yeah, let's go. All right, so this is not really a topic you get to hear outside of the musician circle, and this is about the band being an afterthought. So we can actually call this topic "Why." It's a question, right? It's a topic and a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the band always an afterthought for artists? Big artists, A-list artists, B-list artists, upcoming artists, going nowhere artists. Regardless, right? Why is the band always like an afterthought? And let me explain. Let me shed a little light. So you have a performance, or you have a tour, or you have a gig somewhere, and the artist or the management or the record label are going to spend time and resources planning for all the things. For example, the camera crew, the designer and wardrobe person. They're going to spend
Even the DJ.
Even the DJ. Oh, let's not even get to the DJ. The DJ parts. They're gonna think of the social media presence, the publicity, photographers, all that good stuff. Transportation, the limo, the
Accommodation.
the
five-star
five-star,
house.
right, and all that good stuff. And then later, when the budget it's almost done, they're like, oh yeah, so we need a live band. And yeah, so let's get a band. And then they call the band, and then the band asks for X amount of money, and they're like, that's way above our budget. All we have to do, offer you guys is $100 for this gig. And you just do it for us. This is a big artist. And we're like, hold on. So these guys have families. This is some of us. This is all we do. We don't have any other source of income. Yeah, we might have other source of income or sources of income, but this is what we do majorly. Why can't you put some respect on that and pay these guys what's due? So I'm gonna start with Joe because he's the closest to me. And what are your experiences so far? Like playing with artists. Oh, by the way, Joe has worked with everybody you know. If you have a favorite song, he has probably played on that track or performed with that person. So we're not doing any Lynn Collins today, so it's just gonna be, we're just gonna keep it that way. So what are your experiences so far?
So, my experiences in regards to this whole band being like an afterthought, I feel like part of it is the artists, they themselves, some of them, don't appreciate the craft that they work in. Some of them don't even understand the music that they're working on. Some of them don't even know the keys of their song. No shade, but
why you going there, bro?
But so if they don't understand these things, they don't even know what key the song is in. What makes you think they really care about having a band? That's one. And some of these artists think of having a band as like a stage decoration. They just want some guys to be on stage.
Right.
Then I had a discussion with somebody like 3 days ago, and one thing he said to me, which was like, oh snap, that makes sense. He was like, some of these artists are recording artists, and then there's some that are performing artists.
Right.
And so when he said the recording artists, he said what happens is that these recording artists go to the studio, record, and once they record, that's pretty much it. That's the end of whatever they're doing. They finesse everything in the studio, and all they care about is making their money. So they don't really care about whatever else that matters to the craft. Obviously, performing artists, they know that they want to put on a show. They care about, you know, the live performances. They care about creating an experience for the audience. They're not just shouting at the DJ and stuff like that. Give me track 2. They want to create like a story. So when we understand these two different types of categories, like this person told me, it started making sense. And then another problem is, in my own opinion, some musicians play themselves because because they're willing to, will I say, sacrifice, or not even sacrifice.
Settle.
They're willing to downplay their skills. They're willing to downplay what they bring to the table. Yeah, they're willing to do that because they feel like they're playing for exposure, or some of them play for clout. They just want to be able to say, oh, I played for X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, after you play that show, you get off that stage, real life will still hit you. You still have your bills to pay. So these factors, in my opinion, is what really affects that. Because if an artist that doesn't really care, like a studio recording artist or whatever, who doesn't really care about the performance like that, he just wants to do his tour and make his money or whatever, now is looking for a band, and there's quality guys that are going to play and they bring their price, they're going to be like, this one is too much money. I beg, find out somebody else that can, you know, that can do something
At a fraction of the cost.
at a fraction of the cost. And the crazy thing is that there are other musicians that are willing to do that, which actually ruins the business. So these are the things that I feel like cause this, I guess, neglect for having good musicians for.
Right. And I like the when you talked about how some other musicians are willing to settle just for that clout. I mean, at some point earlier in my career, I will see a big artist and I wouldn't even care what I get paid or not, or how much I get paid, or how long that reality is going to last. I just want to be seen with that artist, you know, social media and all that good stuff.
Yes.
But as you grow older, that kind of change.
Yeah, it does.
What has been your experience, Michael?
I would say that like I'm hearing you guys,
Right.
and I'm just like, I have friends who play for pop artists, and I think it depends on the genre, which also affects the culture in regards to what is going on. For example, I have guys who play for pop artists, and I know that they are the only ones who play for that artist. They will have a day rate, a specific day rate that they won't go below. All the expectations are laid out. And let's say that there's a tour that's happening. It's not that they'll play for one specific tour. They are their musicians.
So, from the way you sound, okay, you're from Europe, right? We are here in America.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, by the way, Michael is from, where are you from again?
London.
He's from London.
Mm-hmm.
London.
In it.
In it. All right. So we can have both the European aspect and the American aspect.
Right.
Now, the structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we cannot take away that fact that we're all Africans. And
Right.
there is that category of artists as well. I'm not sure how large that community is for you guys there in Europe.
Of
You know,
African.
like lots of African artists. Because when you're talking about pop artists, right? Are you talking about what genre are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about someone like, I'm sure Bruno Mars, or in fact, if we think of people like Adam Blackstone and the people who he plays
They have
for.
structures, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying. Like,
Why
generally,
is that structure lacking in the African community?
I would say because it's not deemed to be important.
So when I said the band is an afterthought,
Yeah, the band is an afterthought. Whereas I think for, I would say the American entertainment, or what it looks like to be on you guys' side, is the musicians are just as important as the artists.
right,
Like, I'm sure some of these people, they fly first class alongside with some of the artists.
right.
Whereas I know for some of the Afrobeat artists, I know it yeah,
It's tough to talk, bro.
Alright, so
talk too much. But,
you know what's actually really funny is the fact that as much as like we also Burna Boy's performance, right? That we cannot have this topic without talking about that performance.
Facts.
That was epic.
Facts.
Like your guys were on that team, right? They're actually London
Yep.
guys, right? Yeah, they were perfect. Now I'm seeing a lot of artists trying to emulate that, but I can tell you how many phone calls I've gotten after that concert.
well,
Like people trying to kind of replicate or give that type of performance and perform on that standard and have that band that is their band.
Right.
Get it? But that comes at a cost.
Definitely does.
yeah, and I would say that they've probably followed the Western model of
Right.
keeping the same people,
Right.
having the same synergy and everyone growing.
Right.
Like, and I was lucky to be a part of the production or not the production. I was able to take and just help out the guys.
Right.
Shout out Emmanuel, ND, shout out Jola, shout out Michael Massady,
Hey, shout out Jola.
Shout out.
Shout out Bishop Sachs, shout out
Oh yeah,
to
Bishop
Otis.
killed it that night.
Otis
Jesus
on-
Christ.
Killed it.
Yep.
He got toned, bro.
Otis on bass as well.
Sheesh.
Who else is there? Ife trumpet and Christina on vocals. Anyway, yeah.
Of course, Christy.
You guys know yourselves in it. So yeah, they've been together. I was lucky to be a part of the show for London SSE, and I was able to see and be a part of the rehearsals and pre-production for the London O2 show that he did.
Oh yeah.
And
That's cool.
I was there for like about a week watching
Told you
them
he was a
rehearse.
star, right? We said he was a star.
Okay.
Superstar.
But anyway, yeah, I watched them for about like maybe a week.
Wait. So how long did they practice for? The rehearsal?
12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. For how long? How many weeks?
for-
How many days?
So I think pre-production maybe. Let me speak on what I know. I'm not sure how pre-production went, but I know that it didn't just happen in 1 or 2 days.
Right.
Thank you.
So these guys were exclusive,
Yeah.
and they were working,
Yeah.
and their time was paid for,
Yeah.
and everything was accounted for. Now, you cannot expect that. So I've played, Joe. We have played with artists that didn't show up at rehearsals,
Yep.
and then on the day, matter of fact, we rehearsed with the DJ, and then on the day of the show,
They expect a miracle to happen.
no, they just come on stage and be like, yeah, well, what's good, what's good.
yeah.
And then they start frowning and throw. What was it that one here in Hillside that showed the microphone?
That was vexing.
Yeah, and Burna was part of all those rehearsals, right?
No.
Not all of them.
No.
Okay, but he was part of most of the rehearsals.
So the thing is, they've always been okay. So because they've been a team together,
Yeah,
I know for a fact that it wasn't. They were using like big. They weren't using all the syncopations and ceremony in the beginning.
right.
He was after like I wanted to sound like how
So-
it was made.
Burner asked for those things, right?
So he understands his craft. He knows his songs.
So what it is I think he just had to have more belief in the MD. And as time was going on, they started making intros. They started adding things to the mix of things. I mean, I was even led to believe that at a point in time, Burn don't like to hear the metronome.
You-
Yeah,
Oh, that sounds good.
because it's not in the track.
Right.
I don't
right.
like to hear the metronome either when I play.
I mean, I need the metronome, but
I don't like to hear it.
I mean, we all have different preferences.
Yeah.
I have a love and hate relationship with metronome. If it's just metronome, I'm fine. But when it's like click track and there's a lot going on, it's distracting for me as a guitar player. Because 85% of the time, right, I just need that click to tell me.
That's
yeah.
it.
Like anything more than that, it's messing with my flow because
Yeah.
I'm on rhythm
No,
half
yeah.
of the time.
I get you.
Yeah.
I think even for me, it would need to be mixed in with the cues. Like it has to be the same level as the cues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just not in a way, but it's there enough for me to be on track.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. As we digress. But yeah. So
I mean, that's the whole idea, right?
So yeah, I know that. It was. They even just got him on NRS recently.
Oh, yeah?
Like Burna Boy did an arena without NRS.
How did he cope?
They had to. The monitor guy was
Stage monitors
yeah.
was like on fleek.
and he had a runway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the runway, yeah.
So he had a runway with monitors going along
Yeah,
it.
because his voice would be bouncing all over the place without
Yeah,
that.
and
yeah.
he did it. I mean, it made it work, but eventually now he has.
He is accustomed to that.
Yeah.
Because I saw for Madison Square Garden, he actually had.
Yeah.
There was
Because
times
the
he had
thing is,
troubles too.
He actually has. He's been doing arenas as of late anyway. So it's like if you take that thing out, like
You're in trouble.
You're in
It's
trouble.
over.
You can hear nothing.
it's over.
Yeah, and personally, it took me a while to actually get used to in ears. Now it's like my go-to. Like I don't even want to hear the floor monitors anymore. I just want to hear the in-ear, and it takes a lot to get it. And that's parts of the factors that makes a performing artist. Like you said earlier, some actually are just recording artists, but you cannot get to that level of success that you so much desire without being best of both.
Yeah.
The greatest artists that I know are best of both. Not to throw names at anybody, but I mean, tell me who broke records, who won 10 Grammys, and I'll tell you a performer. And I think it's one of the criteria is the Grammys, right?
Facts. You gotta perform. Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson, all these people, they performed
Right.
and they performed well. They performed with a band, orchestra, horn
Right.
sections, singers, bruh, name it. So
But you know what? I think as Afrobeats is making its way to the Western world, and they want to be in a position to compete, I think it's gonna become a standard. Like the thing is, with us coming from Africa, we are behind.
Far behind.
We are behind,
Far
but
behind.
just because we're behind doesn't mean we won't.
Yeah.
You know, like for example, Burna Boy's come to set.
Right.
You know, the new level. So if anyone wants to outdo him, they need to.
But then here's where I get skeptical. You know, it's like wanting the result without the work. That's how I feel now, and I think that's what has kept African music where the pop. Let me not say African. That would be unfair because we do have we have excellent Africans that are making that wave and are doing it right, and we know them. But my
Afrobeats,
point is,
Afropop.
I'm talking about the pop, the Afrobeats genre right now. They're not seeing, or let me say, we are not seeing how much work goes into that level of excellence, but we just want the results.
facts.
You know what just came to mind as well? It's like we as Africans, in regards to people and where we've come from, and even kind of what's happening now. Everyone wants to keep their hands on top of the money. Like their hand is like this.
Yeah.
The hand is like this. But I think when we realize that once it's okay to let go,
It keeps flowing back.
Great things
exactly.
happen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Because I mean, it's crazy, right? Like I've been in the inner circles and I've seen how these things work. Like you have a promoter that is taking 60% of the proceeds,
Yeah.
and
Sometimes.
you have record label that's sitting on like 70% of the proceeds, and the artist gotta struggle with like 30%. So you can't even really blame the artist for not taking care of the band because
Yeah.
he himself is not getting jack.
Right.
Right. It's an industry-wide change. First, we have to change the mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you think the bands or the musicians are not placing themselves in the right place? Do you think we're
No,
not?
I think that we are placing ourselves in the right place.
So what's the problem?
I think the issue is not the musicians.
So what's the issue?
The issue is the artist understanding the importance behind what it is. Like at the end of the day, right? It's your employer that will give you what you need, and it's your employer that will employ you.
So are you saying we should unionize?
I mean, we could unionize.
Will that work? Has that
um,
worked in the past? I mean, we do have guilds. There are guilds. There are performing guilds.
I think the
You know
union-
what happened?
What happened?
They'll just bring their guys from Nigeria.
Yeah, but that's when they can file the papers and all that stuff.
Guess
and
what
have time.
happened? We have two tours right now. The guys couldn't come here to the States, so they have to use United States-based musicians. And we are telling them, you cannot pay us what you pay you guys back home.
Maybe that's the issue as well.
What's the issue right now?
Look at how much they pay them back home.
Yeah, that's the
course.
mentality they bring it back here. Like,
course.
oh yeah, so I pay these guys so couple this money, and no offense to anybody, I understand. Things are different here. You cannot use that same mentality. I mean, rent here an average is $1,700
Yeah,
Right.
for a month.
Exactly.
$1,700 can pay your rent for the whole year in Nigeria, right? No, for real,
Facts, that's
I
true.
lived in Nigeria for 25 years. I moved here when I was 25. I was a
Right.
grown man when I started living here in the States. Do you understand? So, $1,700 can pay your rent for the whole year.
Right.
So you can't expect to give someone, even right here in America, right? You can afford to survive with $30,000 a year in some states, while in some other states,
You can't.
God bless you surviving with $50,000 or $70,000 in New York, right?
Right. Mhm.
Right. And I believe it's similar in Europe, right? There's some cities you leave, you'll be fine with just a few thousand pounds.
Yeah.
And yeah. So we have these artists coming over to the States, like, okay, fine, I'm not with my guys, and I want you guys to play for us for this amount.
Mm-hmm.
When you guys are getting $500,000 per show, and you're offering your band $50, I mean, come on. You're offering your band $250 a gig. Come on.
I think it's just they're not loyal. I mean,
It's
they're not really loyal to their band.
no, they don't understand.
Maybe they
what the
feel like
band- so that's
everyone is what's that word?
You know what I think?
Replaceable.
Yeah. So what I think is they feel like you should be happy you're playing for me because I am so and so.
That's a bad place to be.
That's what I think.
That's a
When
bad
I
place
look
to
at it, I think that's what it is because if you understand what your band is bringing and what your band is going to be doing for you and the services they're going to be rendering, you'd be like, okay, let's see how we can meet somewhere. But if you have this strong mind that, oh, well, find the next person,
right.
then that means you really don't.
And that is usually what happens. I get called for some gigs. I have my standard, and I'll tell them, oh, the last time someone called me for a gig and I sent them a contract, they did not know how to react to that. Like, they're like, so we're supposed to sign this before you come? I'm like, yeah, if I don't show up, I owe you what you ought to pay me and extra for another person you're going to pay. So if you are offering me $10 for your gig, and I did not show up at that gig, I'm going to give you $10 and pay for another guitar player that's going to play for you. That's what my contract says.
Right.
Same way, if I come to your gig and I play and I do not get my check, I'm going to sue you because there's a contract. So
Right.
I will not. You can't just call me and be like, "Hey, Mr. Dees, I want you to be on my contract." Fine, I'm going to send you a contract and you sign it. And we need to get to a place where we as musicians understand what value we have and what power we have. It's hard. It's hard. And I understand, things are different, things are difficult, and but the truth is, if you don't correct a lot of things and make these people understand that we actually deserve what we get, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, Joe.
I feel like first thing is like if these people actually understand what they're asking for, like what they want in their music,
Right.
the time it takes for us to, I mean, first of all, like we're pros. Most of the songs that we hear, like we can play them like if we don't really know it, give us a couple of hours, we will know the whole song from
Dude,
beginning to the end. Minutes.
We've done like some minutes.
But the thing is that it took us time and effort and money to learn all these things. Our instruments, all these things cost bread. So now, if I feel like there's certain musicians, there's certain artists I've played for that understand this,
Right.
and
Yeah,
the production is so different
Right.
that I personally will enjoy playing with them. And if they call me again, I'm always happy to play because they understand.
And at that point, you're even ready to work with that budget.
Hell yeah.
Because it's not even about, oh yeah, they're not paying much. But, excuse me, when you work with these artists and you feel valued and you kind of feel like, they understand what you're doing and they appreciate your craft, it's some sort of an incentive to make you want to do more. Michael, right?
I would say yeah. I'm also just thinking, as musicians, what have we done and brought to the table to make the artists feel like this needs to happen again all around the world?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
So, I mean, if they can pay attention to the track record, and like I said, it comes down to them actually having some kind of knowledge of music because I will still say it. Some of these artists, Americans, non-Americans, wherever you're talking about, some people just know how to bounce on the beat, rap on the beat, sing on the beat, but they don't understand the technicalities of music. So they wouldn't appreciate the things you do. Like a regular person see me play some crazy things on bass, wouldn't understand that. So they wouldn't appreciate it compared to if they were musically inclined. Like I said, there's some artists I've played with, they don't even know the keys to their song. So what makes you think they're gonna understand that I'm playing arpeggios or I'm doing this and I'm doing that? You get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. I'm also thinking like, have any of the musicians actually tried to build a relationship
Or rapport.
with the? Because to be honest, there are some artists I've produced for, and they have no idea of what I've done. But they'll come to me over and over and over and over again.
See, the thing is that for most of my encounters, I have never had a one-on-one encounter with none of these artists.
Maybe that's
There's
it.
always been a middleman. And then even when okay, I'll take that back. There's only one artist that I've actually had like we actually like gist and stuff like that. Maybe two of them, but regardless of that, the vast majority is you get a text message or you get a phone call. There's a gig, blah blah blah. The only time you get to meet the artist is at rehearsal.
Right.
So you've already listened to all their songs, you've made your notes and all of that stuff. You see them at rehearsal. They come in. Sometimes they come in mad late. They say, what's up? Like, oh, no, dear. Okay, fine. And then we start rehearsing. And then before the rehearsal is done, they've left. The next time you're seeing these guys is on stage. So how are you going to build a relationship with them? Few of them are actually like, oh, what's good, bro? How you doing? Oh, what are you playing? Oh, you playing this? Some of them are actually trying to do that, but most of them don't.
I mean, it's. I understand where Joey's coming from.
Because it's crazy because they would never do that to their DJ.
They would never do that to the DJ,
So
bro.
what is the DJ doing that we're not doing?
Bro, I feel like musicians are houseboys to most of these artists. I swear to God, because and I'm not even bitter about it, but I just watch the dynamics because I still respect a lot of these musicians, but like that's the way I feel. Like since it's an afterthought, it's like that. Just get me these guys. So if you feel like that already about us, why do you want to mingle with us? Why do you want to know what we're doing?
Yeah, that point is like pointless. Like
It's pointless.
yeah, like why should I like right? It's Michael, please.
No. It's. I think what it is they know that with a DJ, no one can just come in. Most of these people have a DJ, and their DJ will go with them
All over the world.
And I think what it is the DJs position themselves in a place where, without being a set, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but that's because first of all, some artists don't know how to perform with a band. And when I say this, I'm talking about like not even American, not even Afro beats. When I play with like local guys in Brooklyn and stuff like that, like all these open mics and stuff, guys that are up and coming that are so good with rapping. They drop the track, they can go on it, but once it's a band, they freak out.
Right.
They can't like work with a band because I guess they never had that chance to learn and build a band. And I think another thing is pride. Some people just can't say, oh snap, I'm not good at this, help me or show me the way. But most of the time everybody wants to perform like they know it. I've been in a rehearsal where an artist came and was acting like they knew. I'm like, first of all, bro, you don't even know what you're saying. Like, we're in the key is C and the progression is 1 6 2 5, and then you're telling me to play. So you just want to say something. You just want to sound like you know what you're saying, but what you're saying is absolutely wrong. You get what I'm saying?
And that's fine. It's fine. We can't all. I mean, that's why you need a musician, right?
A music director.
Think about a CEO. I bet you a CEO does not know 85% of the operations.
Of course.
Doesn't even know how to operate the machines in the factory, and does not understand what the supply chain is about. And that's fine. That's why you have people. But I think this is where I really want to focus right now. What are the DJs doing? And this is not a cabal against DJs, but I'm at a point where I want to understand what this DJ are bringing to the table that the guitarist, that the bass player, and the keyboard player, and the music director is not bringing to the table. Like, I need to understand that.
I think what it is with the DJ, you know what? Yeah, with Afrobeat, we have to acknowledge that this is still new. It's actually still.
It's not really that new.
I would say that
it's not.
No. Bro, for someone like Burna Boy to have that kind of long rehearsal, it's not common.
That's very true. I agree.
And so what I'm saying is, I think it's and before the band came, there's the DJ.
Right.
So it's just the culture right now, but I feel like there will be a culture shift at a point in time.
But we've had there was a time in our history where we've had touring musician, world music, Afro beats that have their band. They've been playing with. Let's even come down to Fuji. Like, these guys have the same band anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
Because those people are the people, like, they are you know, obviously with Afrobeat, everything is on track. Like most of the time, if someone like Wizkid is he wants to hear the shakers that are on the track. He wants to hear the bass line that's probably on the track.
Right.
He wants to hear the BVs that are probably on the track.
So are we saying we should?
It's a style of music, so we can't compare back then.
I'm saying, okay, so here's a gap. Like, I have worked with different artists, and I've gotten to a place where I can understand that sometimes some of these artists actually know that they don't have the rudiment knowledge of music, and they don't want to show that that vibe of they do not know and that we know. Musicians, we are guilty of showing off that we are more knowledgeable than these people. No, for real. So let's be sincere. Let's be sincere. Let's start with your choir. If someone is singing, right, and they are singing off key, look at the musicians. All the judgment is gonna be in our eyes, and that's because we have attained this level of, oh yeah, we are here and you guys are here. And I think the artists can smell that, they can feel that, they can hear that in the room. So before you even come and say you're here, and then me that I've sold $2 billion worth of records is here, I would rather be here so that while you are here, I'm here, and then we're disconnected. So I'm thinking it's more of an intellectual thing. I might be wrong, but this is me overthinking it.
You know what I've even come to find as well? Some of these big artists, you know, like some of us band members or our MDs or whoever would come and bring ceremony to their music. And
Like too much, and then it's totally off what they're used to.
and that's why the DJ will always win.
Yeah,
Because the DJ will never get it wrong.
that's facts. That's true. That's actually true because they just hit and play.
Extreme.
Not saying
Right.
they just hit and play, but they really just hit and play, and it's the same thing that the artist is used to.
Anytime.
Exactly.
247.
It's safe.
So how can we as musicians?
And it's cost effective. There's only one person that got
Do you,
it.
do you understand why it's a good idea to have a DJ?
Yeah.
Wow,
It is.
Mr. MD, you're
It
supposed to
is.
be on our side.
No, I am on your side.
No,
but
I like
it's
the
just
fact that he's playing devil's advocate. I like that. Yes, it makes
Like,
us.
it makes sense, like what the DJ's gonna get, even if the DJ's cue is a little bit late. You know they will.
You just get you back.
Exactly.
Oh,
I've had
sorry.
such, I've been on the show where the artist was not paying attention during rehearsal.
Right.
They asked this question and said, "Yo, boss, this thing we're doing it like this, we're doing it like this. This is how it's gonna transition. Is it cool?" The artist was just like, "Yeah, it's cool, it's cool."
And then on the stage.
Then on stage, sound check. The DJ did what he was supposed to do, but the artist didn't catch it. But you know what happens? The artist got upset.
Of course.
Of course.
As he should be. I mean, he's an artist,
He's an
right?
artist.
Yeah. Who are you to tell him what to do?
I
right?
just said, "Oh."
I'm not even here.
I think we just need to come to a place where we make such an impact that it's not life changing or quick for the artist. When I say impact, by the way, it's just like we're coming in and we're making subtle changes. I know the Burna Boy. I know a little bit of the Burna Boy story,
Right.
and he didn't like too much happening over what he recorded. It's
Yeah.
only now he's used to track. He's used to cues. He's used to transitions. And this is like the same band he's used for maybe what 6,
Almost
5
7 years now,
yeah,
bro.
7 years.
like
Yeah,
and
7 years.
what I'm saying is what they've done in the last 2 years is not things that they were doing in the
Yeah,
last
of course,
4,
of course. We
4
noticed
before
that.
that.
You noticed that?
And I know even some of the big artists, they to this day they don't like anything on top of the track,
Yeah. No, see, even here, like,
and they don't like anything on top of the track. Sorry to cut you off. They don't like
Yeah.
anything on top of the track. Then what are you really doing?
doing exactly. So, like, here in America, when you're playing for your American artists, right?
Mhm.
They want you to play exactly what's on the record.
Yeah.
That's the way you get the gig. So if you're not playing exactly what's on the record, you're gonna throw the artist off, and then you're changing the song. Right. They don't want you to change
And
the
that's
song.
not fair on the artist
So,
either.
yeah,
Or
it's
they spend their
understandable.
time.
All the fans.
All the fans
For the
either.
fans, yeah.
Right.
So you're exactly. Ah, man.
So there's also final words. Who wants to go first? So the topic was why are musicians, the band, Afterthought, and we kind of hit different places with a DJ being economical and
Safe.
just being one person, easier to deal with than a bunch of show off, that wants to play everything that's not in the song and then throwing the artist off. And I mean, we are arrogant sort of people sometimes because we think we know too much as well.
Right.
We just gotta face the fact. Some of us have matured to that place where we understand how to work together as a team. And I was watching a video of Don Juan with his band. And he was talking about not overplaying.
I've seen that video.
You've seen that video, and if you're a musician, if you've not seen that video,
And I played with Domo.
here we go.
Let's see.
Sure.
I
See
just
what we're talking
remember
about?
that's
See what we're talking about, right?
But it was a long time ago. It was really short. It was really
Yeah, well, I've seen him on stage. That makes me feel
Worship His Majesty.
yeah, but so we have a lot of work to do as a musician, and I hope this video or this podcast gets to both the musicians and the artists to understand that we need to work together. And so it's not just about saying, oh, the artist does not pay the musician. What is the musician bringing into the table? Are you just bringing plenty of arrangements and just confusing the heck out of the artist?
Because
that's one of the
I've
things.
actually heard
Right.
Of course.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want this.
And then another thing is that we also have to be true to ourselves. So musicians you have to know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, for example, I know some musicians that are really good at making arrangements that make sense to the existing
Just
music.
subtle, not too much.
But then I know some musicians that feel like, they're just gonna make an arrangement just because they're a musician and they just do whatever.
Right.
And then they feel like everybody should like it because it's an arrangement. But
It's not necessary.
that's not how it works.
In the words of Andrew Sheps, 3 chords change the world. You know who that is?
Nah, not this,
No, I
not this
don't.
Andrew.
Yeah, he actually has a plugin with Waves. He's a renowned mixing engineer. I'm not sure if I said his name. Sheps said, play me the top 10 Billboard songs or the top 100. It's 3 chords.
3 chords. Simple.
It's 3 chords,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
so there's a lot of complexity that you can achieve without being overly complex.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, 2022! I just made a quote right there. There's a lot of complexity you can achieve without being complex. Amen. Yeah, Joe, up to you. Final words.
I beg, my head was full of my head. But that's just funny. Final words.
I'll probably
final
cut
words.
that part out. Or not cut it out. Cut it out. Not cut it out.
Alright, so final words. I'll just say I feel like artists should be able to, even if they don't have that skill, I think they should find somebody within their team that can help them, But then again, that's even a problem too, because people ain't loyal out here. that's another topic for another day.
That's another topic.
Because like if you say, okay, I'm gonna find somebody that I can trust that will guide me in this journey on building a band or whatever, that person